Hello everybody and welcome to another video. And we are doing two videos from this point of view because one, I want to start doing more, I want to get back to doing review type videos. And in this one we'll be doing my first, not my first, I don't want to say my first, but another movie review, because I forget the last time I did a movie review. It was probably years ago, but I want to get back into reviewing things, and I couldn't think of a better way to do it than reviewing the movie that we're going to talk about tonight. I'd say there's going to be two videos from this point of view, because I still need to do my 4K movie collection for the beginning of the year. I know it's not the beginning of the year, it's the middle of the year, but hey, there's still going to be a second one at the end, like nearing December or something. But with that said, hope you all do enjoy this review, and if you do, please like and subscribe and do whatever the fuck you want, and yeah. But with that said, in today's review, we will be getting into the newly released movie, The Black Phone. Now, from the first trailer, I had tons of interest in this movie. It just grabbed me just from the trailer, and also it's from the director of Sinister, and I really loved the first Sinister, just the atmosphere and the horror aspect and the whole, like, what if situation. What if you fell upon like a dark history in the new house that you just moved into, and then you just, you find a bunch of murder tapes. It's like, what the fuck, like holy shit. And then there's a sinister dude just waiting to kill you, and he does. But I love the way that the atmosphere and so on from Sinister was brought over to here, and I just loved everything about it. And I'm gonna go over my pros and cons. The first pro I can definitely identify was Ethan Hawke's acting. Just fantastic. He gripped me in every scene that he was in, especially the introduction scene, where he drops some stuff, and then he's like, "Oh, can you help me? Can you help me?" And then, he just seemed like I didn't know if, I kind of did because I saw the trailer, which I recommend. If you haven't seen the trailer, do not watch any and go see this movie. But, yeah, Ethan Hawke was just a fantastic villain and a fantastic child abductor. He's introduced as whatever his name was, but then when you get introduced to the child abductor side of him, just completely different levels of creepiness and chills. I kept getting chills every time he was on screen, especially with his mask. He had different parts of the mask that he could take apart, so if he was wanted to send a message with his eyes, he would only have the mouth cover, and if he wanted to send a message with his mouth, he would only have the top cover. And just any scene he was in, it really creeped me out and just gave me chills, because there are fucking crazy people like that in the world. Just look at John Wayne Gacy. That motherfucker was a clown and enjoyed dressing up like a clown so he could get his victims, and it's just so fucking crazy to see a movie like this and then instantly relate it to past history in the world. Just so crazy that we can actually do that. It's no, it will never happen, it was just a movie. No, it might happen, and you don't know when, so lock your doors. But then next up is the premise. I just like the how am I gonna get out of here premise of put anybody in that situation. But one thing I didn't like about the movie, which I'll get into later on, is it's just explained to them, and it's like, oh, okay, well, it's not really like a follow the dots, figure it out on your own conclusion. Like you were just told it, and that kind of dragged it down. But I still enjoyed the atmosphere enough, and like, oh, what am I gonna do, and so on. And I enjoyed everything else about the movie, especially the investigation aspect from the police. Like the small bit of that, it wasn't a big part of the movie, but I enjoyed it. And then also I really enjoyed the brother and sister relationship, because they're introduced, and it's a very abusive household where they come from, and I really enjoyed that aspect of like the brother trying to protect the sister, and the father being a complete asshole for like a small portion of the movie. And then like I kind of like, I enjoyed that introduction. Like, oh, okay, so that's gonna keep them together and connected and everything. And anytime the sister tries to do something that that the father doesn't like, he'll always like interrupt her and stop her from doing it, so she'll have to find a way to do it in secret. But that didn't really happen in the movie. I mean, she just was able to do it, and the father just went along with it. And I was just like, you could have like dragged that out a little bit more, maybe to 2.5 hours, like maybe just dug deeper into it, and then like, I don't know, just went deeper into the father side of things, because I think that would have made the movie better. I mean, I understand the focus was on the abductor and the main child trying to get out of it, but I kind of wish they delved into different aspects of the story. And I said I really loved the relationship between the brother and sister. They really seemed like they really liked each other and loved each other, and they really seemed like actual brother and sister. And then the last thing I loved was the atmosphere. Just really enjoyed the atmosphere, and like how I could actually see something like that being reported on the news today. And that's something I don't want to see reported on the news today. I could totally see that happening, and that just really scares me, because I mean, like, I'm 24, but I'm still scared of shit like that. Imagine going down the alley, or well, I don't know why you would go down an alley at nighttime, but like, walking by an alley or whatever, and then just staring down and seeing like, oh, a guy with the devil mask. Yeah, fuck that. I'm running home then. But I just really enjoyed the atmosphere, the relationship between the brother and sister, Ethan Hawke, and the premise. And yeah. But now on to the cons. I didn't like the explaining everything aspect, and if you've seen the movie, I'm pretty sure you know that the boy, he there's a black phone in the room he's kept in, and the abductor says, oh, that never works. But then he keeps hearing a phone, and like at first I'm like, oh, maybe that's a phone upstairs or something, or whatever. Or maybe he's like crazy, and he's like, oh no, that never works. And it actually does. And it actually does, because the abductor, the children that he has killed, and that's been like, just reported here and there across the movie, they were buried. And so like, it's like, oh, the phone's always ringing and ringing and ringing, and then the kid answers like, oh, hello, and it's like a kid that picks up. It's like, okay, what the heck? But then like the thing I didn't like about it is like when they continued to talk, like they would get to a point in talking, and then the kid on the other side would be like, oh, this does this or whatever, and then I'm like, okay, leave it at that. Like, leave it to don't explain the whole thing, but like leave it at like, oh, like for example, if the kid trapped in there now needed to use like a broom for something to get there, the spirit would have just said, "Oh, broom," and then hung up or whatever. Because I don't like over explaining stuff or like hand guiding the audience through the journey. I kind of like to figure it out on my own. But like there's like, each kid did that. I'm like, cool, but like, I kind of wish like the kid figured it out on his own with like the hints that the dead kids gave him. But, I'm able to overlook it because I enjoyed everything else about the movie. And then, after that, I mentioned it earlier on. I really wish the abusive relationship with the father and daughter and son led to something, but it was kind of like, oh, he's an abusive asshole in the beginning, and then kind of forgotten about. And then at the end, like, the father comes back like, oh, I'm so sorry, and then the kids are just staring at him like, and then nothing. And then the final thing I did not like was like this is spoiler territory, so spoiler if you have not seen The Black Phone yet, but like the kid that got abducted, he gets saved, he finds his way out, and he kills the abductor, and then like a day goes by, and he just goes back to school, and he sits down, and then like the girl he likes is like, oh, hey, Finny, and then he's like, just call me Finn, and then credits. I'm like, okay, I guess that was explored upon. Like, it's like, oh, you could have gave us hints and stuff that he liked her, and not just like, oh, yeah, he likes her. Like, I mean, like, I kind of got that, but, like, there needs to be more done to it. But, I mean, I enjoyed my time with it, and, like, I guess I can overlook the over-explanation and the, like, just ending that didn't need to be there. Like, it should have ended with, like, the whole family reuniting, or the brother and sister reuniting, not with that. And that kind of knocks off 2 points, because I rate my stuff out of 10. So, like, that one scene at the end just knocked off 2 points, and the one scene at the end, and then the over-explanation, and, like, just explaining everything aspect, knocked off another point. And, I really enjoyed my time with the movie, and enjoyed Ethan Hawke as the villain. I just wish it was, a bit longer, so we could have got more of the stuff, because it's just like, and then we're done, yay! And, like, I really, I said it again, I really enjoyed it, but I just wish more things were explained upon, or detailed, and so on. But I really liked it, and it gets an 8 out of 10 from me, and that's a definite, like, oh yeah, go and see this. It's very entertaining, and it's a fun thriller, and, it's like you're interested, and you're trying to figure out, where he is. I did like the twist at the end, though, to where the abuser actually has 2 houses. The houses where he buries the kids, and then the house where he keeps the kid locked up. It's like, oh, okay, I really like that, to throw off the cops. And then they really had a great moment where, like, the police were investigating. They're like, oh, we must have got the wrong house. I'm like, oh my god, that would have been such a neat aspect to, like, send the cops away. It's like, oh no, we can't find them, like, back to the sister, and I'm like, oh no, we can't find them. And then that could have led to the sister asking her father to be like, hey dad, well, like, when I have these dreams, like, I think they might be able to help find Finn or whatever. Like, I would have really liked that instead of what we got. Like, I enjoyed the movie, but, like, if things are more detailed, I would have enjoyed it way more. And like another aspect they could have done is with the brother of the killer, because like, you know, like he was there, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, he's like, it's a different house, but then like that got introduced as like, whoa, oh my god, his brother didn't even know that his brother was hiding kids down there. I'm like, holy shit. And then you know, that got dealt with. But I kind of wish I don't know, I kind of wish it was just like uh a turn that turned the other way, and then like it led back to the house. So like maybe the sister could have proved to the cops like, wait, no, I know where this is, I know where that is, blah blah blah, instead of like, oh, we only have an hour and 47 minutes, so we need to crunch it. But you know, I mean, I really enjoyed the atmosphere and the acting of the kids and Ethan Hawke, and I really enjoyed the kids' relationship and stuff, and I really enjoyed like the figure out how to aspect of the movie. But I kind of wish like they didn't. In my opinion, it was kind of a stupid reason why the killer wouldn't be able to hear what's going on down there. And it's because the entrapment room that he keeps the kids in is soundproof. So no one that comes over can hear them screaming or anything. But then that also means the killer doesn't hear them at all either. And like the whole game that they're playing, or the killer's playing, is called Naughty Boy. And that got introduced with Finn. And the whole aspect of that game is to get him to get out so the killer can kill him. But Finn never does it, which I think is like, oh, well, he's smart, and so on. And then, like, earlier on in the movie, there's this friend that saves Finn from being bullied and beaten up. Is like, oh, you know, Finn, one day you're going to have to stand up for yourself. I kind of wish, like, that in the final meeting between the abductor and Finn, like, I kind of wish it, like, the abductor pushed him around a little bit instead of Finn, like, dodging and, like, just straight up killing the abductor. I kind of wish, like, there was, like, a bit of a, you know, a working towards it, and not just like, oh, gotcha, oh, and like, I mean, there was kind of like in the aspect of like, oh, you know, you gotta stand up for yourself one of these days, and like it was kind of, you know, led up to, but it was kind of also like crammed together and stuff, and like, you know, that like, you know, I kind of wish it was just just laid out a little bit longer. But, you know, it's a fun hour and 47-minute movie if you're really into crime thrillers and so on, and you can not need the extra details and stuff. But I kind of wish they make like a different cut with like tons of explanation and like, you know, like leading it on, and like it's like, oh, well, this leads to this, and then Finn actually realized he has to stand up for himself, not just being told, oh, you have to stand up for yourself. Like, I kind of wish there was a struggle in doing that, because since he's not used to doing that, I kind of wish there was a better use of the brother. But, you know, it's a fun hour and 47 movie, really interesting, really, like, set you in if you really like those crime thrillers. And I'm thinking about it now, it's like 8 out of 10 because I enjoyed everything. But, you know, I don't know, because like all those aspects that I mentioned, they could have been like dived in on. And I kind of think it's worth a 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 or an 8, depending on how I think. But, like, if they just would have done that in the movie, it would have been like an 8. But they didn't, so it's like 7.5. So I think 7.5. 7.5. That doesn't mean I hate it or anything, but it's a good watch and so on. But I just wish they, dove more in on like the explanation and how we get there and not explained everything. But hey, maybe next time. Maybe there'll be a Black Phone 2. That'd be stupid because the killer's dead. But you never know. Never know with Hollywood. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, have you seen the movie The Black Phone? If so, let me know down below and what you thought about it. And yeah. But with that said, this has been another video by me. And with that said, see you on the next one. And bye-bye.